This is the Flow Show, you guys.
Hey, what's up? It's Flo. You're watching The Flow Show. In this episode, we're going to be doing a music video with Wesley Jobe. He's going to be talking a little bit about his story of self-expression. Then we're going to give you a tool to help you express yourself. Then, at the end, we're going to finish this all off with a Flloem. So stay tuned because it's happening now.
Thanks for watching.
Alright everybody, this is Wesley Jobe here. He's the one who's playing the didgeridoo in the earlier part of the video. Wesley has had quite the journey of self-expression here with playing the didgeridoo, and he's going to share a little bit with you about that. And then we're going to get on to a tool that you can take home. Wesley?
Yeah, okay. Take it away. I'm going to say that to myself. It's a useful tactic. I want you to say it. No, it's cool.
Take it away.
I got this. Yeah, there was a time in my life several years ago, and I was feeling really down and kind of just looking for new things to try and stuff that made me feel less down but also less bored. There was a lot of like lethargy, I guess, in my state at the time. And I was going to this cafe a lot, and then I saw this cool little poster about a class for playing the didgeridoo for an hour, like a workshop, right? And I thought, well, geez, that sounds pretty cool. I kind of know what that is. I remember it sounding pretty cool, so I just took a chance, you know, to try out this new thing and kind of reward myself with that. It was around my birthday, so that was kind of nice. And then, yeah, I went to the class, 1 hour class, started getting it kind of right away. The teacher of that class is now a good friend of mine, and we've played together, which is super cool, and I've always felt honored to play with him as well, so thanks, Trevor, for that. But yeah, right away after that 1 hour of playing, I was just so stoked on what this could do and like how good it made me feel to just make weird noises again, because I hadn't really been expressing myself a lot in that way for a while. So I bought one right then and there out of my way out of the class. There was one on the wall, and I just was like, okay, this is for me. How much is it? Took it home, and then just basically practiced every day in my basement. It was really dark and also kind of depressing in my basement, but that was nice for me at the time. I was still feeling really shy as well about self-expression, so it was nice for me actually to have this like really dark and just kind of like confined space where I knew I wouldn't be disturbing anyone, and really just let go, right? Try and be as loud as I can. It really helped me explore what the didgeridoo can do, and how I could play it. It's variety comes not with like playing of notes or technicality. It's more like beatboxing, which you're familiar with. Many of you maybe have heard some of his sweet skills. But yeah, it's all your own voice, right? So that was like a really fun time of self-exploration for me as well. Next phase of my journey, basically, was, well, okay, a little bit of history there. The didgeridoo I bought, turns out Indonesia is more humid than Calgary. Big surprise. It was held up really well, designed very well, except for the very top, which turns out is also vital. It's called the neck of the didgeridoo. Just the top where like your mouth goes, that first 6 inches, had a crack down it. And it didn't really seem to matter at me. I mean, I was a total beginner. I only took the one class. He didn't actually inspect the didgeridoo when I was leaving and buying it right, things like that. So I was like, okay, whatever, it sounds good enough. I can still get a lot of noise out of it. It's doing well, performing fine. But then I kind of got sick of just the little bit of buzz that was kind of happening as I was getting better at it, and I wanted like a smoother, more crisp sound to come out. So I finally decided to just duct tape it, even though I was like, oh, I shouldn't duct tape this precious, like, beautiful wooden instrument, right? But I got over that and was like, whatever, I should just try it and see what it's like. Duct tape it, seals it up right away, and within 20 minutes I was performing the circular breathing technique, which is like essential for didgeridoo players.
And it's a hard technique.
It can be, for sure. For a lot of people, it's largely like a trick of the mind, where you're breathing in and out at the same time, which is actually impossible, hence the mind trick part. But it's like using pressure in your mouth and to continue the buzzing of the lips, which makes the didgeridoo kind of wake up, I call it, or make the initial drone sound, and then you can close the back of your throat and sniff in with your nose a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. But I had already been practicing and strengthening up so much that as soon as I did that, it was just like, whew, duct taped it. 20 minutes later, I'm rocking it. I'm feeling super excited. It was just like this firework moment for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is way better than I thought before. And I was feeling like so confident too, which was really cool the way that I kind of did that. At first being very like, I don't know, kind of procrastinating as well, because I knew I should probably fix it, but also just like treating it like it was too special. And yeah, and then once I just like laid back and was more easygoing about it, reminded me more of how fun it was again and all that stuff. So I got so hyped. I think it was maybe even the next day, I went out busking, which was like a revelationary kind of a thing for me. I had thought like, oh wow, I'd love to be a musician. I'd love to busk. When I see people doing it, never thought I would have the courage to do that. But all of a sudden, my mind just went to this place of like, well, I'm practicing in my basement all the time anyway. It's summer now. Finally nice outside. I love being outside. I love nature. This instrument is made of trees. Just kind of, it makes sense for me to maybe go play outside. It's from Australia where it's super hot. Maybe it makes sense for me to like be nice and warm in the sun. So if I'm practicing in here, what difference does it make if I practice outside? Only difference is other people can hear me. But if my goal is just to practice and have fun because I love doing this, I can block that out. Nice. I can maybe just let go of that and not care what other people think. I can close my eyes, whatever it takes. And turns out that it worked and it was perfect. And I started playing, eyes closed, started busking on 17th Avenue during the Stampede. And there was a lot of drunk people hanging around and milling about as well in the evening, which was kind of fun. Yeah. And also made, I don't know, maybe it's just like people are really friendly around here, but I got so much support right away on the first day. And I'm just so grateful to all the drunk people that thought the didgeridoo was super exciting, and sober people that thought it was at least somewhat exciting, or also were like super digging it. So nice. Yeah, thanks to everyone in that crowd that night. I met up with these other guys, and we actually were busking and jamming. We were busking at first, but then we just were like, forget the donations, like let's go to this little park area. And we set up, someone else had set up like a living room outside, and we ended up jamming there and having like a rap battle and a didgeridoo battle, and I let other people try my didgeridoo, even if they were like super sloppy drunk. And I was playing, I think, for about 5 hours that night, and we were playing until the sun came up. Wow. With people dancing, like on the street at some points. Wow. It was like super cool, so that was a really amazing moment for me there in my progress. So after that, what happened was more profound. A deepening kind of feeling had started to wash over me and fill me up with motivation to do something else, to do something more. Busking was super fun, but summer doesn't last forever and things like that. And I was getting a little bored of it, just kind of felt like I was showing off, and I didn't really like that about myself. It may or may not have been true, but as soon as I had that thought, I kind of couldn't get over it. So I went, oh, you know what? I feel like I want to express this music that has helped me like progress and grow and find confidence for the first time in so many years, to have more meaning for the people that are listening as well. And in somewhat of more of an egoic sense as well, I wanted more attention, but in a very specific environment. So I wanted to, I guess, be the curator of more of an intimate experience for listeners, and for myself as well, to like feel heard, to feel really heard. Whereas
that's so important.
In busking, a lot of people are, most people are just walking by. They might not even look at you. A lot of people don't insult you openly, which is amazing. So again, bless the city for all the nice folks that aren't like just rude. But yeah, a lot of just like, whatever. A little bit of negligence, stuff like that. So I started really studying, because of the effect playing this instrument had on me in my life, I started studying sound healing, and started to discover there's all these books written about it, and there's all these resources and people that have actually made entire companies or CDs that are specifically designed for healing through music. And music has always been healing for humankind and spiritual for many cultures, and because the didgeridoo is so spiritually kind of designated and culturally rooted in ancient Australia, and the rituals, I felt like it made so much sense for me to move into that and try and create some kind of beautiful space to be heard in that way and to offer that in that way. And again, it started with a question. I was super shy, I was super nervous, definitely not feeling crazy confident of like, yeah, I'm just gonna play in front of 20, 30 people that are staring right at me for an hour and like holding their attention and expecting to like make it valuable for them. That was still super nerve-wracking, but what got me over that right away was this question of, what if my healing journey through playing this instrument has an effect, like a trickle over effect on the people that are listening. And as soon as I thought that, I got over that shyness, and that just pushed me forward of like, well, I gotta try. I should just try. And then ask them, ask the listeners and see what happens, right? So yeah, just boom, right after that, moved into developing my own workshops, people always like to call them. I personally really don't like the word workshop, so I called it a ceremony.
A ceremony?
And handmade my own little posters at first, Didgeridoo ceremony, and I put up the poster at the coffee shop where I first saw the poster. And kind of brought a whole bunch of things in my life full circle.
That's such a full circle moment.
Yeah, so that was just, again, another profound like transcendence in my personal life and growth at the time. And I've never looked back. It's been about 4 years now, and I've done many different forms of that workshop, that ceremony, and played music for a lot of other people doing beautiful things for healing others, and kind of collaborated. And now that's my new ceiling. My new goal is to make bigger and better collaborations, not just musical, but for other spiritual teachings, maybe adding physical, beautiful practices in there as well that really just help people kind of let go, dissolve, relax more, because that's where the healing happens.
And I've definitely been right underneath the didgeridoo at my birthday fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
And that was definitely, which got me this camera actually.
Booyah!
So, thank you.
Full circles.
Full circle. Boom.
The tubes get you there. That's why we were having fun with the slide there. We were thinking about tubes all day. It's fun.
Alright, so now we're going to jump into the tool we've created for you guys for helping you to express yourself. So, what tool have we come up with? We've come up with animal noises. 3 points about making an animal noise. Point number 1, pick an animal. Any animal, and don't mind it being weird. It's gonna be weird, and it's probably gonna be awful. So don't mind it being awful.
And point number 2 is get comfortable. So, as you can obviously see, we are now, especially Flo, super comfortable. So that's important for this exercise, and you're going to want to make sure you pull up your jimmies when you get to the spot.
It's true.
And yeah, just maybe go outside or find a place away from others where you can, just be with yourself to
isolate yourself
to
or
try
whatever
this
it
out.
is.
And yeah, just wherever is the most comfortable that you can imagine for this type of expression and weirdness.
Point number 3, try it. Just try it, and more than a whisper. Don't if you're making a raven or a crow, no, take a full breath. Go until your breath is done. And you need to use a whole breath for that, for many different little sounds, or one big, Ooh. And if it's terrible, try again, and use a recording as a reference. That's a key point. And if it still sounds terrible, keep trying, or pick a different animal, because there's so many animals that I can there's so many that I can do.
Switch it up.
And there's so many that I can't do. So maybe you can do one that I can't.
My personal favorite is the pigeon. The didgeridoo tell me that. So,
There you have it.
secret.
Alright, Wesley, well, thank you for doing this video with me.
Absolutely.
And yeah, now let's get on to the Flloem. Self-expression helps depression melt and set in self to nest in and rest. Test it. The restlessness or numbness that comes in from holding your locked up key of mystery wants to break out. So let it, or seek help. Remember, whatever the issue, bliss ensues when you let fear miss you. Thanks for watching, and tell me your story of self-expression down below in the comments, and remember to subscribe and ring the bell and hit that notification button. I'll see you in the next one.